Hi, this is a yin sequence. You might need a blanket, possibly a bolster, and you may need your bricks and your blocks. You can see that. You might not need those. If you haven't got bricks and blocks, you can use books, heavy books. Hopefully you've got a blanket. But you might not need it, you can use a cushion instead. And if you haven't got a bolster, we might not necessarily need one, but if you find that you like what I'm doing with the bolster, you can use sort of cushions or a thick rolled up blanket or sofa cushions. Okay, so we're going to begin just in constructive rest pose, just like we usually do. We're just going to do a little bit of a breathing practice and a little bit of centering. So I'm just going to put the blanket underneath my head, and then I've got the feet on the floor, the knees bent up. You can have the feet just as wide as you like. You can let the knees rest together and have the feet wide, just finding a position wherever your legs are going to be comfortable. And then just allowing your body to settle down into the floor. So just giving yourself to the ground. And just noticing where you're breathing. You can use your hands if you want to for reference. And just see if you can just become relaxed. Just softening. Feeling that breath. Just the rise and fall of your abdomen. Maybe just listening to the sounds around you, the furthest sounds that you can hear, without trying to identify them. Just going from sound to sound. And then sounds slightly closer, maybe just outside the room that you're in. And then to just the sounds that you can hear in this room, in the room where you are. And then to the sounds closest to you, the sounds that only you can hear. The sound of your breathing. And just allow it to be really relaxed, peaceful, and easy. Not worrying if thoughts pop into your mind. Just noticing them, acknowledging them. And you can just deal with those later, just letting them drift off. Focusing on the sound of your breath. The gentle swell of your abdomen, that rise and fall. And then just broadening your awareness a little bit. Noticing how you're feeling today. Right in this moment, how are you feeling? Just tuning into the emotional body. What emotions are going through your mind right in this moment? Not how you felt earlier or the general feeling tone that you've had throughout your day, but how are you feeling right now in this moment? So they needn't be big dramatic feelings. Just getting used to identifying really sort of tiny little emotions. So it might be irritation, boredom, apprehension, tiredness. Key is just to notice. Notice what's happening right now. So just a few more moments, just quiet and still, just gently breathing. Checking in with the rest of the body, making sure that the shoulders are relaxed. Could they be any more relaxed? Softening the throat. Trying to release your head into the floor, into the blanket, just letting go of that weight of your head, of your skull. Letting the pelvis release down. Feel your feet pressing into the ground, just gently. Feel the weight of the leg bones, the spine, the shoulders, your pelvis, and your head. Let that ground you. Good. You just stay there for a few more breaths. So we're going to do a legs up the wall practice. So you will need a little bit of wall space. When you're ready to, we're just going to take the legs down, just stretching them up, just having a nice long lazy stretch. Arms up and over the head, or tensing your neck side, just any way that feels nice for you. And then just relaxing where you are. Just enjoying that lovely feeling that you get after the stretch. And your body sort of recede back from that stretch. And I'm going to come up just briefly to sitting. So we're going to transition into that position of having the legs up the wall. So to get into this position, you're going to scoot yourself against the wall and then move yourself down, shove yourself down a little bit, come down onto your back a little bit and just prop yourself up on your elbows. And then you're just going to look towards the wall, let your back come all the way down, hand nearest the wall, onto the wall, other hand onto the ground. You're just going to swing your legs up and then push yourself around. Use that hand against the wall, push yourself into legs up the wall. So having your bum against the wall. So if you need to, just kind of wiggle and snuggle yourself in. And from here, if you want to, you could reposition your blanket underneath your head. You could use your brick or cushion underneath your pelvis, underneath your sacrum. If that feels good, if it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel good for everybody. So you can just push into the wall, lift your hips up and slide it back out. And then do whatever you want to with your arms. So you may want to just rest your hands, one on your belly, one hand on your heart. You may just want to have your arms sort of down by your sides or out in line with your shoulders. If you choose to, you could start to work into the shoulders if you wanted to. So just closing your eyes. Again, just using the breath for your focus. And relaxing into the ground, into the earth below. So this is legs up the wall. In our regular yoga practice, we call this Vipa Karani, which means reversing the process. So it's an inversion because our head is below our heart. And it just allows the legs to rest. This is a really nice practice that we're doing if you want to become really nice and relaxed, and it's a great thing to do before you go to bed, because it makes you feel nice and relaxed, ready to go to sleep. So we're allowing the blood to drain from the limbs, from the feet and the ankles, down the legs, and also the lymph fluid. It's great for if you get swollen ankles. It's meant to be great for lymphatic drainage. But it's called reversing the process because your heart has to work in a different way. So whereas usually the heart has to work hard to pump that deoxygenated blood back up your legs, that deoxygenated blood can just sort of flow down the legs back to the heart. And then instead of the oxygenated blood just sort of flowing easily down the legs, now the heart has to work quite hard to pump it up the legs. So it's just giving your heart a gentle sort of workout in a different way. Closing your eyes if you're comfortable to. Focusing on the breath. Allowing yourself to become quiet and still. Noticing how your body feels in this position. Surrendering. Letting go. Breathing. And your legs are up the wall. Doesn't matter, they don't have to be totally straight. The knees can be a little bent. Just finding a position that's comfortable for you, and then settling into that stillness. Just allowing that calm stillness to wash over you like a comforting cloak. Just a few more breaths before we come into our next pose. Next, going to take the legs a little wider. If your legs just need a little bit of movement, you can just sort of give your legs a little shake out before we move on. So I'm just going to take the legs a little bit wider. You can slide them out. If you don't like to take your legs too wide, I didn't bring one with me, but you can use a strap around the calf muscles or around the thighs even, so that the legs, you can sort of rest your legs into that wide position. Otherwise, you can just take the legs as wide as you want to go. You can use your hands to support your legs. So you can dig your elbows in and just kind of support your thighs. Or you can just let the legs go. Or you could even put like a chair against the wall either side there. Or you might even have some furniture that is handily in your way. So this is going to be a groin stretch. So this is where you're going to feel the stretch. This is your target area into the groins. If you've decided that you didn't want your block underneath you, you can take that out. But if it's still okay, just leaving it there. So you just want to find that first point of tension. I'm going to there for you guys. So just coming to that first point of tension for your groin. So when you relax, so this is where you might need the belt as well. Where can you feel that tension? And just going to stay there and just allowing the legs to release. Just letting go. And as they release, you might want to go a little bit further. So we're going to remember our Goldilocks rule. We don't want to be stretching too far, but also we don't want to find that we're stretching too little. We want to find that position, that amount of stretch and stress in the tissues. It's about 3 or 4 out of 10. 10 being much more than you could bear, and 1 being just like a little holiday, really. Nothing's really going on. A position that you could fall asleep in. You can feel that there's stuff going on here in the groins. You can feel a stretch. You might also feel it elsewhere, but as long as there's no pain or discomfort, this is fine. And we're doing sort of 5-minute holds in this practice. You could set a timer. You could make it 3-minute holds instead, or you could make it up to 7 minutes if you wanted to, or you could sort of change the lengths of the poses to suit how you're feeling. But the main thing is to just become quiet and still and surrender. So always just checking that you're still getting that same sort of level of stretch. You don't want it to over tense. You don't want there to be too much gripping. You want to keep nice and relaxed. So focusing on your breath. Just nice natural breaths. The breath should stay nice and quiet, slow and calm. You know that you're doing a good job. Every now and again, just checking in how you're feeling. Checking in with the emotional body. How do you feel in this moment? Just paying attention to any emotions that are arising. And if emotions do rise to the surface, don't think about the whys and the wherefores. Just allowing them to come as they want to, and then just letting it go, just letting it release. Not trying to bottle it back down. Just relax. Breathe. Undoing all that long-held tightness and tension that's stored in the body, that's stored in the tissues. And that fascia, that connective tissue, the ligaments and the tendons. If you find that you're struggling, you've maybe gone too far, just back off a little bit. If it's turned into something too easy, maybe you need to just try and let go a little bit more, maybe take the legs a little bit further. About 1 more minute to go. So remember, when we come out of the yin poses, sometimes you might feel a little stiff and a little fragile. That feeling quickly goes away. So this is one of those times. So we want to use the hands to draw the legs back together. Oh, back up there. Feeling a little bit of affinity with our grandparents, maybe just giving the legs a little wiggle out. You may even just want to briefly just draw the knees into the chest. I'm just going to get rid of my brick block. Just giving the legs a little shake out. Just a little bit of recovery, just for a minute in just regular legs up the wall. And just remember, you can always stop the video and take longer if you need. So this is a good time for reflection, just noticing how you feel in the legs, the areas that you've worked, in the groins. Just noticing that rebalancing of the energy, the prana of the chi. How does it make you feel? How do the legs feel now after that practice? How do you feel physically, emotionally? Okay, so we're ready to take our next pose. So we're going to do cobbler pose against the wall. So I'm just going to bring my feet together. So just coming to where you feel that first point of tension. Again, it's quite handy here to use your arms, elbows. So I'm digging my elbows in and I'm making like cup shapes with my hands so I can just hold my legs, so I can relax them a lot more. Just to begin with, in that initial stages. You can bring the legs as far in as you want, you can have them as far up as you want. You could even use your books, your bricks, your blocks to support you in your body Konasana. Just show you with one, like here or here, to support you. Or again, your belt around the knees here. See what you want to do. Remembering not to go too fast, not to go to your maximum straight away. But if you find that you have, you can always come out and start again and just back off a little bit. So finding that 3 or 4 out of 10. Finding that Goldilocks, that just right position. So you're not stretching too much, not stretching too little. So you can allow yourself to relax in that position. That's the key, to be able to relax into this position. It isn't about striving and pushing too hard. This isn't a non-striving practice. Because when we're working with these more yin tissues, the ligaments, tendons, and the connective tissue, the fascia, they take longer to respond. They need to feel safe. They need that affirmation from the central nervous system to feel nice and safe. So can you allow your mud to settle and the water to become clear? So think about your mind and your body as a great big lake, a great big body of water, that if you tense or move around, it stirs up all the silt on the bottom and muddies that water. You want your water to become clear and still, like glass, like a mill pond. And feel your breath reflecting that. So easy breath, easy body. Just enough stimulation into the posture. Really thinking about letting go. But being kind to yourself. Honouring your body. Getting a stretch into the groins, working with the inner layer of the body, that inside layer. If there's a lot of things going on around you, or in your room that you're in is a little bit noisy, it's hard to find a quiet space sometimes for us. So you can count down in your mind, maybe counting down from 100, just counting your exhalations, so that you've got something very simple to focus on, to stop that external distraction pulling you away. About another minute of this practice. Again, this is going to be another one where we're going to feel a little bit stiff, a little bit broken when we come out. We might need a little bit more time to come out. So make sure that when you do come out, you take your time. Take as much time as you need. And know that what you're experiencing is very normal. It's very normal to feel fragile and stiff and a little bit almost stuck in that position. Just a few more breaths and just check that the rest of the body is relaxed. Can you relax your shoulders, your face? Okay, so it's time to come out now. Okay, ready? We're going to just hold the knees again. Maybe give your legs a little help, maybe to draw the knees in a little bit, or to start to slide your feet up the wall. Ooh, feeling a little creaky, let's just have a little bit of a move into the hips, into the legs there. Just moving a little bit to make you feel good. And then we'll have that another, just a little rest with the legs up the wall. And when you have that rest, you can feel that flow of energy going through the legs, through into the hips, through the groins, that flow of chi. Chi is pure energy, just like prana is pure energy. It's in everything, it enlivens every cell, every molecule. So feeling that spreading of warmth and well-being throughout the body. Before we move on to our next pose, let's just point and flex the ankles. Maybe just a little swell of the ankles. Ooh, click. Nice. Okay. So for this next one, we're going to slide our feet down the wall a little bit, and then we're going to walk our feet over to one side. I'm going over to the right side. So just going as far as you want to. We're keeping our shoulders down on the ground. Maybe let's bring our arms out in line with the shoulders. I've got my palms up. You might need bricks or blocks to put under, or your bolster to put underneath your knees, or between your knees, or your legs if they don't go all the way to the floor. So just come to a point that is comfortable. So you might need props just so that you can relax that. You can turn your head the opposite way if you want to, and then just settle down, just relax, closing the eyes if that's comfortable for you. Relaxing the legs and the feet, the knees, the shins, and the calves. Just finding that stillness of the mind, stillness of the breath, stillness of the body. We're finding that way, which is action through non-action. So through us being in these positions and seemingly to the outside observer doing nothing, things are getting done, things are moving, tissues are creeping and releasing, things are going on in the body. But it gives us the opportunity to sit with ourselves, just to find a moment to be in this body that we inhabit, that we often inhibit. Chance to reconnect to ourselves, to our true essential nature, to find things out. Where are we tight? Where are we tense? What do we like? What don't we like? Breathe. Let go. I want to increase the stretch on that top lateral side of the body, just breathing into that left side. Feeling that pressure and creating space. And so when you breathe out, you can really feel that yielding and relaxation. Good, just one more minute before we move to the opposite side. Slowly bringing your head back to the centre, and then just taking your time, taking as much time as you need to bring the legs back up the wall. Just resting here for a minute. If you need to move a little bit, that's good. if you just want to be still, that's good too. Taking any of your props that you used the last time, just so that they're there for you, should you need them. Again, just noticing how you feel. Maybe just giving your head a little tiny roll side to side, just a couple of times. Okay, so are you ready? Let's slide the feet down. If you're feeling a little bit like you're too close to the wall, a bit too tight, move yourself away a little bit if you need to from the wall. Let's walk the feet over to the opposite side. So yeah, if you feel too tight here, just use your feet to push. Use your push reflex to push away. Arms out in line with the shoulders, palms up. You can keep your head in the same direction as your knees if you want to. You can turn your head the opposite way. If you're feeling a bit strained in the groins or the legs aren't meeting each other, use your bricks, your blocks or your cushions, whatever you have around the house. You might be able to let the blocks go, or you can always use your arm as well. It's quite a useful prop. You can turn your head the opposite way. Just relax, just letting go. You can also have a brick underneath that knee, that foot, that leg. Don't forget it's got several sides. Take what you need. So you're going to feel the target area for this pose on the other side that we just did is you're going to feel the twist in the rib cage. You're going to feel a stretch along that top side of the body, down that leg, anywhere down that side seam of the body. You might even feel it into your glutes. You're going to feel it across the shoulders too. So relax your chest, relax your shoulders, soften your face. Breathe. Close your eyes. Let the legs relax. Allow yourself to rest. Don't forget, if you want to, you have that option to take some bigger breaths into that right side of the body, feeling that expansion when you breathe out, the relaxation as you exhale. How does your body feel? Can you release and let go? Or is it challenging for you? So just practicing without judgment. Sometimes things are more challenging than others, more stimulating than others, or more relaxing. Every day is different. Just taking one day at a time. Think about your expanse of water. Can you allow the water to become still and clear? With that stillness of the body, mind and the breath. Keep checking that there's not tension arising, shoulders, eyes, forehead, jaw, abdomen, back, and your legs, and the groins, let them go. Last few breaths here. Let's just slowly roll our head to face that same direction to our legs, and then let's raise that right arm up towards the ceiling and just rolling onto one side. We're just going to stay here for a few breaths. You might want to just make your arm into a pillow. So we're in a little sort of fetal position. Just nice and nourishing. We're just going to stay here for a little bit. Okay. Let's just bring our hands, our top hand, our right hand, down next to our face. And just slowly start to push up. Just keep looking down at the ground so you don't feel dizzy. Because we have been in an inverted position for quite a long time. And then we'll just make our way into relaxation. Have the blanket for your head or two. If you've got a bolster, you can put it underneath your knees. So just putting on any more clothing, socks, tops, get your blanket, cover yourself, be warm and comfortable. Snuggle down. Come into a position where your body feels easy. And then just enjoying a quiet, silent Shavasana for as long as you need to take. Just letting your body sink down into stillness. Letting go. Feel the work of your practice. So take as long as you need in Shavasana. So stay there. Breathe. I'm going to finish here, so stay as long as you need to. Just wanting to